Hey, beautiful souls, beautiful sunshine here with the Holistic Healer, aka Sonia B. I am back with several prophetic messages. I would just like to say, for those of you who are new to my channel, I just want to say welcome. And for those of you who return it back, I want to say welcome back. For those of you who do not know, I'm an intuitive, clairvoyant, Hayoka empath who receives divine prophetic messages. I also receive intuitive messages, as well as intuitive messages through songs as well too, as well as I am also a Reiki master teacher. I am also a Reiki practitioner, and I am also here to help translate messages from the spiritual world into this 3D world to help assist souls on their spiritual journey. So anyway, with all that being said, let's get into it, because today it's going to be a little hot and juicy. Anyway, so with all that being said, keep in mind that these energy, I really feel like Spirit is bringing to my attention that these energies are coming up, like probably sometime this weekend. And again, for some people, depending on their location on the planet. So most likely, if you're somebody who's watching my channel, the Mercury retrograde. Oh, I'm sorry. Let me say this too. If you're new clicking on my channel, we're in Mercury retrograde right now. Mercury retrograde tends to affect my communication sometimes. So sometimes I stumble over a word, I get a little tongue twisted. So keep that in mind as well too. Don't judge me, but it is what it is. That's just a part of me knowing thyself. But anyway, and for those of you who do not know, I am dyslexic, should I say, and not only that, but there's times when I have, misfire, should I say, just within the neurological system or whatever. But anyway, can't help that. I was born that way, so it is what it is. But anyway, with all that being said, I have learned to embrace that side of me, whereas before I would take and hide that side of me. So it's just a matter of me just being true and authentic to myself. That way, hopefully I can encourage other people to be true and authentic to themselves, and to know that we all have flaws in some sort of way, but just learn to embrace them. And if we can help to, that there's always room for growth in order to change that process, if certain things can be changed, or to better oneself. But anyway, so with all that being said, I accept myself just how I am, because it is what it is. But anyway, so with all that being said, let's get into the messages. So I heard several songs that came through. Let me just say that first of all. So I definitely know that love is in the air, okay? Like the last few days, I've been hearing songs in between messages, and I didn't bother to record because I was really taking time for self, and I just figured I would just wait until I record again to deliver those messages to you guys. So let me just tell you real quick, but I'm gonna put them in the description box below in case you don't remember what it is that I'm saying right now at this present moment. But the song that came through was Barry White. Okay, for those of you who know Barry White song, it was like, I can't get enough of your love, babe. That's all I kept hearing. And it was playing so loud to the point that I just thought, I had to ask my daughter, I said, was you just playing that song a minute ago? And she was like, no. And I was like, oh my God, because I heard it so loudly to the point that I thought maybe she was playing it on her phone a second ago, because it's like, I heard her next to me. She was listening to something, but I didn't know exactly what she was listening to, in other words. But with that being said, it's like, when I asked her and she said no, and I was like, oh my God, like that was just playing so loud in my head to the point that it sounded like somebody was actually playing it in a house. But anyway, so the Barry White song. Again, I'm going to put these songs in the description box below. So again, love is definitely in the air. And the next song that came through too was Phil Collins song. And I actually liked it. I actually like both of those songs, but I really like this Phil Collins song or whatever. But this one kept playing in my head like continuously. So you guys should just basically take whatever songs that I'm putting in the description box, just basically listen to the messages that are in the song, because when they're coming up for me and I'm supposed to deliver them for you guys, obviously there's a message there for you. So please make sure you just read the lyrics to the song and really hear what it is that it's trying to say to you. Anyway, so the Phil Collins song was Take Me Home because I don't remember, which is so funny because growing up I used to always sing take me home because I can't. No, I used to say, hold on, what I used to say? Oh, it was do you remember instead of I don't remember. I was like, do you remember? So anyway, I just thought that was kind of funny and I would just share that or whatever. So I would always hear a lot of different music that I thought that they were saying certain things, but turned out when I really read the lyrics, it's like, oh, that's what they were saying, because I was putting my own words and spin onto it. I've been doing it ever since I was young. Maybe that has a lot to do with the dyslexic. I don't know, but I just think it's kind of funny because I know my kids would kind of laugh at me about it. My brother-in-law used to laugh at me about it. May his soul rest in peace. And then my spouse at the time would kind of laugh about it and correct me on certain things that I would say, you know, when I would say it, because I thought that's what they were actually saying. Because one thing about the Aquarius is like their energy, that electromagnetic energy is going so fast, is going so fast. It is like we sometimes can talk kind of fast in a sense. So in other words, it's like when it comes down to hearing something, it's like we can't hear it the same way that we speak, in other words. So we need people to slow it down a little bit so our brain can process it, because our brain is always ahead of time, meaning like it's already in the future, should I say. And that's what Aquarius represents. It represents the future. So with that being said, that's during these times as such as well too. But anyway, let me get on. I don't want to get sidetracked. So the next song was oh God, who sung this song? Shoot, I'm sorry, y'all. Give me a minute, because I thought I looked up all the songs. This... Oh, okay. Okay, so this song is by Tony Terry, When I'm With You. You know, when I'm with you, the sun shines my way. Whatever. Anyway, so I'm going to put it in the description box, but make sure you guys listen to the lyrics. For those of you guys who know, who have this gut feeling that love is on the way, and you just know that it is, and you're at that stage in your journey, coming to an end, as I said before, because some are coming to the end because the movie credits was rolling as God was showing me. Was that the beginning of this week? I think the beginning of this week. That some people's stories are coming to an end. Not saying that your story, but you know, a new chapter is about to start as one is ending. So anyway, and then there was one more song, and this one keeps coming through too. My Endless Love, and I think this is Lionel Richie and Donna Ross, is it? Yeah, Lionel Richie and Donna Ross. Anyway, I'm going to put them in the description box below. But just, again, make sure you just guys really listen to the lyrics to those words, because Spirit has a message that's there for some of you. Anyway, so let's get into the prophetic messages. Okay, so the first message came through, and this one was very... Hold on, y'all. Give me a minute, because I'm heating up a little bit. In case y'all wonder what I'm drinking, this is beet juice. For the last 2 days, I've been on a fast. One night I got sick. I'm not gonna say I got sick because I wasn't feeling sick, but I just threw up out of nowhere like 4 different times. I feel like my body is just purging itself, should I say? Because I didn't do anything out of the norm and I feel just fine, but I think my body is just purging and resetting itself. So I've been on like a little fast. Your little 3-day fast is gonna end on Saturday. But anyway, where I'm just basically drinking fluids and not eating anything, and so on and so on. So I got a little bit of beet juice going on here, and I got a little bit of coffee here to make sure I ground myself, because I know I've been doing my normal walking daily, but the only thing I haven't been doing is exercise. It's like God is just telling me to just allow your muscles and stuff to relax, because I think I've just been overdoing, you know, working out on a consistent basis, like on every day, to the point things were just feeling sore. So basically God said it's time to do a reset. So with that being said, I haven't been exercising the last 3 days, the last 3 days. And yeah, and I won't start back again until next week. So again, but I just need to find ways, because I know part of me working out is part of me grounding myself as well too. So I'm going to use this coffee as well as other metaphysic tools to make sure I stay grounded in the process as well too, as well as visualizations. Anyway, so if that was helpful for somebody. So let's get into this message. This one was so interesting of how God, Source, Spirit brought this message through. I was like, wow, God. I was like, that was so interesting of how you showed me this message. So this message came in a form of, imagine somebody being in a room with kids. They weren't doing childcare, but everybody was sleeping. It's like an adult was in there sleeping. And then there was probably maybe like about maybe 4 or 5 kids in the room sleeping. So they was all sleeping like maybe on a pad or on the floor or something like that. You know, and then all of a sudden somebody walked into the room. So, okay, thank you, Spirit. So what Spirit is telling me is the representation of the adult being in the room with the young kids, because they were like different age groups. So they were like different age groups, and it's almost like I'm hearing Spirit say like different age groups of maybe even yourself, representing yourself, like maybe at that toddler stage, at that stage where you're, maybe somewhere around about the age of close to 1 year old, around about the age of like 2, which is the toddler stage. I almost forgot the different stages. Anyway, and then there was a different, another stage where there's like the kindergarten type stage. So that puts you somewhere like around about 5 years old. And then there's that stage of maybe like somebody who's about 7 is what I'm hearing Spirit say. So it was the different four different age groups, should I say. And the adult was in the room too. So the different age group is a representation of some of you guys in regards to the different ages that, the different ages of each and every one, the different ages of someone being immature and not knowing and growing, should I say. Thank you, Spirit. And is growing. So in other words, if you think about a 1 year old, they go to 2, then they go on to the kindergarten stage, which is around about 5 years old, and then you have the 7th stage when you're in actual elementary school. So those are different stages. So anyway, the adult in the room was kind of like the supervision in a sense, but everybody in the room was almost considered like a little bit well, not a little, it's almost like the people in the room, what Spirit was showing me was that they were like immature, should I say. So in other words, that there was, as I said before, sometimes when we lack something, like I said at the beginning of this video, that we can lack something, but as we lack something, there's always room to grow, should I say, or evolve in some sort of way. So anyway, they were all sleeping in the room, even the adult, and then somebody walked into the door, opened up the door and telling the adult, okay, we need you now. So the adult got up and came up. So as the person walked into the door, opened up the door, they didn't go inside. They just stood at the door, opened up the door with their hands still on the door. And then it kind of woke everybody else up in a sense, like it kind of disturbed them out of their sleep. So it woke everybody up. Anyway, so with that being said, and then the lady who was in the room, she walked out of the room. It's like she walked down this hallway, and it's like, as I could see, it's like they were having like some sort of conference in a sense, because it was like a conference table in there, the big long tables in there, but there was people already sitting around the table. And I thought this was so interesting. Give me a minute. I thought it was so interesting because at first I was like, they're having a conference. And I was like, these people are here. But then Spirit was bringing to my attention, this is happening spiritually. So it's almost like being in it's almost like having a spiritual conference with your spiritual team. Or it's like being in a spiritual, almost like a spiritual, I don't want to say courtroom, but it kind of felt like that, but there was no judge in there. The only judge that was in there was the person who, and I'll tell you in a minute. Okay. So it was like a conference, and they were in a conference in an open area. And then the lady went and sat down at the table, but as she sat down at the table, her spiritual team was all, well, at first I thought they was just people, but Spirit was telling me that those people sitting at the table were part of her spiritual team, people who were backing her, people who were meant to lead her and guide her in this lifetime, people who were meant to show her the way, people who are meant to help her along the process, with evolving, with learning, and making sure that she gets to where she needs to go. And I do want you to know, guys, thank you, Spirit. Spirit is also saying, take this message both ways, but just because there's a woman there, it does not mean that it does not apply to you. This is applying to a man, or is it applying to a woman? So take it how it resonates. If the story resonates with you, take it how it applies. So anyway, but she went and stood, or at kind of like at the head of the table in a sense. She was kind of like, so the one who walked out of the room, people are already sitting around the table. They had her kind of go sit at the table, and come to the table. And as she came to the table, it's like they were all sitting and waiting, like they was waiting on someone to come. So like they had an appointment time with someone, excuse me. So as they were sitting and waiting for a little bit, it's almost like they were kind of getting a little antsy in a sense, like, I'm waiting, like we're waiting. Where's the person at? Because they was waiting on one other person. So when the other person got there, this person that walked in there, they was like walking in there with authority. They knew what they wanted. They was cutting straight to the chase. So with that being said, when he walked into the little conference area where they was at, he walked in, he walked around the table, and there was 2 seats. So there was a chair here, a little single chair. And when I say a chair, I mean like, you know how you have a couch chair and then you have like a single chair. There was a chair here and there was a chair here. So a lady was sitting here. He came and sat down in this chair. But the lady who was sitting next to him, he didn't know who she was. So the team kind of started talking at the table. So it's almost like the team was there representing the lady, again, who was in a room with the kids. So they started talking, and then someone said, well, have you met her, what did he say? Have you met her, did he say mother-in-law or mother? Hold on one second, y'all. I don't know why I'm getting mother-in-law. Oh, okay. So somebody said, well, have you met her mother-in-law? And then he looked, remember, he's sitting here, she's sitting here in the chair, but not the one who was in the room. So it's almost like the 2 that was sitting in the chair, they were related to each other. Thank you, Spirit. They were related to each other. But the woman who was at the table and all her spiritual team, they were like, if you think about like a courtroom, you have court reporters, you have like the commonwealths, you know, depends on where you stay. You know, you have the lawyers, then you have all the prosecutors and all that other stuff, so on and so on. So it's kind of like that. But, you know, these people were here. People at the table was representing the lady who was in the room. The 2 people who was sitting in the chair, obviously they was related to each other. So anyone, somebody at the table had said, well, have you met her mother-in-law? He looked at her like that, that the mother-in-law, and said, which was, I'm assuming, his own mother. So he looked at her and said, I'm not worried about her because I already know she's spiritually strong. But he looked to the lady who was standing at the table, who was in the room with the kids, and said, all I want to know is, are you spiritually strong? That's it. He was cutting. He was not playing no games. He meant business. He wanted to cut straight to the chase, and he wasn't trying to deal with nobody outside of that if they weren't spiritually strong. So I say all that to say that some of you guys are spiritually behind the scenes, are having like these meetings with your spiritual team, as well as meetings with your kingdom spouse. It's almost like your kingdom spouse and yourself, your kingdom spouse, yourself, and your spiritual teams and their spiritual teams is like behind the scenes spiritually. They are collaborating. Thank you, Spirit. They're collaborating with each other because they want to make sure that y'all two are on the same page, in other words. And that's what's happening behind the scenes. So I say all that to say, when he asked the lady, was she, all I want to know is, are you spiritually strong? It was almost like she never answered the question. So for me, because I never saw the answer, Spirit is, thank you, Spirit. Spirit is bringing to my attention, if I don't see a message in a dream, that's letting me know that there is room and there is still time for someone to correct their actions, should I say, because if I just hear a blank no, then it is what it is. But nothing has to be set in stone. It's just letting you know that it's still open, that whoever you are, you know, that if you know that this is your situation, that there's still time to fix and change, you know, any situation or any dynamic that needs to be changed in your life, especially because I know sometimes that our spiritual teams can, and when I say our spiritual team, I mean God's soul spirit, the Holy Spirit, however you want to refer to spirit as, or, you know, your higher self, your spirit guides, you know, sometimes, you know, I tell you what I keep seeing, the eye of Horus, should I say. I keep seeing that, like, not in my sleep, like literally when I just focus, I could just see like the eye just kind of floating. Anyway, so with that being said, you know, you have you have so many different people that's working behind the scene that you don't even know. You got your angels, again, you got the guardian angels, you got your higher self, you got your spirit guides, people who's been there with you ever since you know, were born. So I say all that to say, it's almost like they're having these spiritual conferences with each other, trying to get the two of you on the same page. And if you guys remember the video that I did on the lesson of the girl and the boy being in a classroom, having to stay after the detention, and the teacher leaving the room and gave them an assignment when she came back in, and I mentioned that they both made the same picture. So that lets me know they both want the same exact thing. It's just a matter of, you know, of trying to get them on the same page. And this is like another message that is adding to that. So anyway, I hope that was helpful for someone. But again, don't take it as just a woman. This can apply to a woman or a man. So take it how it resonates. If you're the one in a relationship that knows that you're lacking in a certain area, then you represent the woman standing at the table. If you are the one who's authoritative and you came in there standing in your power, knowing where you are spiritually and walking in there knowing what you know and knowing that you want somebody spiritually to be next to you, then that message, then you are that person in the dream. Anyway, so let's move right along to the next message. So this next message was another situation of, I told you guys the other day about somebody making fun of somebody. Hold on. Cuckoo, cuckoo. Sorry, y'all. Trying to keep from calling my daughter's name. Can you put that on one again? Just take that straw out for me, please. And put it on the side. Thank you. Anyway, so this next dream came in a form of, I saw that a kid was like being picked on. So take it how it resonates, whether you're a kid or maybe this is something that happened to someone as a kid, that they were being teased almost about their race, should I say. So I don't know who this is resonating from, but I'm getting a feeling like there was a child, probably somewhere maybe like about maybe between 8 or 11 years old, and it's like somebody was making fun of them about their race. And it came in a form of like people didn't know that this child was mixed of another race, should I say. And it's almost like what I was hearing was like he had some Russian in him, but he was also black as well too. I don't know who that message is for. They have some Russian in them, but they're also black too. But they was like looking at the picture of the child's father, and he was a Russian man, should I say, but he had the same type, the kid has the same type of features as the man. So I don't know if somebody's doing like a paternity test in regards to a child, or realizing maybe somebody, this is a situation, I guess, of a paternity test and something about a child being made fun of because of their race, should I say. But anyway, so either somebody is doing a paternity test. Well, thank you. Y'all like my mini mug? Got this from Disney World a couple of years ago. It's cute. Anyway. But, So what it is not so much as a paternity test. Thank you, Spirit. It's not so much of a paternity test, but somebody is, I guess, realizing maybe in his family. I don't know if it's in his family or maybe the outside people, but somebody is realizing that, I don't know who this message is for. But anyway, so in other words, the child is realizing that that he has some Russian in him. And apparently, I'm not sure if he's discovering who his father is, because as I saw him and I saw the picture of the dad in the dream, they had the same features. So I don't know if you know, it's not funny, but I guess this is just spirit just showing me how they had the same features. But in the dream, somebody was teasing the kid about how he looks like Bart Simpson. In other words, you know how Bart Simpson mouth is shaped, but I really kind of, I don't know why I keep saying Bart Simpson, but I keep reflecting back onto the old man who plays on Bart Simpson, you know, the one who has his mouth that protrudes outwardly or whatever the case may be. And I'm not making fun of anybody, but I'm just saying that that's what's keep coming to mind. But anyway, so it's like somebody was, I feel like it was kind of like an adult in a sense, like an adult is kind of poking fun of a child in a sense, because they got features that looks like the dad is what I'm getting. So it's almost like the child, you look at the child, you look at the dad, they both kind of almost had a mouth like Bart Simpson in a sense. It's kind of what came through. Anyway, so that's a message for somebody. But anyway, remember, we're not tolerating bullying. So if you know, we're not tolerating bullying, excuse me. We're not tolerating bullying. That is not nice, and nor will we like if somebody's teasing us. So if you see somebody bullying somebody, you know, it's a matter of take it how it resonates, because I know some people God is asking them to step up and speak up, and then some people God is asking them to sit down and be quiet. So take it how it resonates. Anyway, so this next dream this is pertaining to relationships. So in this dream, I saw that it was a couple, and it's kind of like they were going out on a double date in a sense. They went and got in a car, and I was like, okay, Lord, you know what? But they were kind of dressed up in a sense. So it was just letting me know that they were going to kind of hang out. But the energy I had gotten from this message, even though it wasn't a full message, was letting me know, because it was two of them together, that, you know, for those of you who've been on this twin flame journey, I know myself, I got tired of hearing the word twin flame, because this journey has been long, hard. And when I say hard, I mean hard. I say all that to say, you know, it was letting me know that twins are coming together. Twins, your kingdom spouse, however you want to look at it, you know, however you want to look at it. But yes, so I did see that happening, and, you know, they're coming together. And I stated that in the first message that I gave you guys when I said people are, you know, it's like crossing T's and dotting I's. They were just trying to get them on the same page. So some people are already connecting, because it's almost like they've done the healing work, should I say, that's necessary. And then you have those who are putting the final finishing touches on it, of making sure that, again, they're crossing T's, dotting I's, and signing on the line, and, you know, and making sure, thank you, Spirit, making sure that they understand what their role is to be for this next chapter of their life. So getting people on the same page. Anyway, so for this other dream, hold on, y'all. All right, so for this other dream was, okay, Now, bear with me with this one because it's about to take a little turn here. So the first dream I had when I said that there's two people who are meant to be together. The man who walked into the room and just wanted to know if the spouse was going to be, or the kingdom spouse was going to be, or are they spiritually strong? This is time back to that dream. Okay. So this is another group of people. So the first group of people, you remember I did that message on the school building and people were trying to evacuate the building, in other words. So these are like the different groups of people who were trying to find their way out the building. Okay. So it's a matter of finding your way out the building so you can go ahead and end that story. And basically it's like, are you doing what is required of you right now in order to end that chapter, should I say? Okay, so this one came in a form of, bear with me. This one came in a form of, it was kind of like my ex, like prior to my husband, like my ex who I used to date, should I say, before I had gotten married. He showed up in the dream, okay? So in the dream, it showed up as if him and I had went somewhere. Like he had asked me to go somewhere with him, like back home to his area, not where he lives at, but back home to his family's house, because he needed to go see his cousin for something. I guess something about his car, something pertaining to his car that he needed to see his cousin about. So I saw that we had kind of arrived there at his cousin's house, who looked like he does auto mechanic, like he was running a business out of his home, because I saw like cars in like the yardway in a sense. And then so in this dream, it's like we pulled in the driveway. He got out of the car and I guess went to go say something to his cousin, say whatever it was he needed to say to his cousin. I was sitting in the car because I didn't want to get out the car, I guess. I was sitting in the car, but obviously I must have put some crystals in his glove box as we was driving there. So I remember I had opened up the glove box and pulled some crystals out just as he was getting back into the car. So as he was getting back into the car, he was like, well, what's that? And I said, crystals, my crystals. I put my crystals in your glove box. And then he was just like, oh. So, hold on. He asked me what that was. He said crystals, so wondering if he... Oh, so yeah, he had asked me, he was wondering if they were real. And I said, yeah, they're real. And then I told him yes. Okay, so I told him yes. But let me just tell y'all real quick, because obviously this may be something that is significant. But for crystals to show up in my dream, I'm going to show you guys this. This is a clear quartz. This is not, it is a clear quartz, and it's not polished. I don't think it's polished. Yeah, I don't think it's polished, because you have polished. I wish I would have brought the other one down. But anyway, this is a clear quartz. This is a very, 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 I work really well with this stone. Very well. It absorbs. Let me just say this. If you got some numbness going on, because I know sometimes, let me just say hypothetically, sometimes when I've eaten too many, let's just say like tortilla chips, because I like tortilla chips, and my dog also likes them too, and so did the kids. But anyway, so sometimes when I've had a little bit too many tortilla chips and I feel like my arteries, like I feel like my hands go like a little numb, like the blood stops circulating a little bit. Sometimes I'll sleep with this crystal in my hand, and literally right away it unclogs and it allows the blood to just flow back to where it is. This works for me. I can't necessarily say it'll work for you guys, but it worked for me. But for this to show up in the dream, it was this one and another crystal. I don't remember what the other one was, but because I remember this one, obviously this is a message that maybe some of you guys need to get one of these, but just make sure that they're real and authentic and they're not necessarily polished, but raw, should I say, a raw clear quartz. Very powerful, should I say. I can feel the energy from that stone. You know, that's just because I'm in tune with the crystals, as well as in tune with like Mother Earth. Like I can feel the energy from the earth when I really just sit there and like and breathe for a minute and just focus, should I say. So, you know, between that and the trees or whatever, sometimes I go up to a tree and touch a tree and I can feel the energy from the tree. So I know it sounds weird or whatever, but it is what it is. But anyway, so I don't know who needs to hear this, but the reason why that showed up in the dream, because maybe some of you guys may want to go get a clear quartz. It helps to remove clear out negative energy. It does a lot of different things. Hold on. And I'm going to give you the crystal meaning in a minute, too. Hold on, y'all. Bear with me. Ah, shoot. I should have just... Oh, shoot. Okay, so hold on. Okay, let me give you the meaning real quick first. So it says, to dream of a crystal represents feelings about something in your life being noticed. Oh, and I'm sorry. This clear quartz is very high vibrational too. That's the important part of the message. It is high vibrational. So just having it around you just kind of benefits, you know, your aura, your energy just within your area, whether you're carrying it in your pocket, whether you're carrying it in your purse, or whether you just have it on like this one. This is a pyrite. This is a pyrite, but you can do stuff like have them built in and put it on like your necklaces or whatever the case may be, or like a crystal shop or whatever. So see how it has a little wire on it? Anyway, so you can wear those, but again, just make sure they're not polished. And if you should go and choose a crystal, just... most crystal places normally have like a little tray, a container with crystals in it. Depends. Some places are different. Some places usually have, well, the two that I've been to, they have crystals in a container. And then they have this little tray, you know, like how diamonds, how they pull diamonds into a tray and they use the little tongues to pull them out. Well, they don't use the tongues, but it's a matter of which crystal is calling to you when you do that. And whichever one that you feel like you're being called to, that's the one you should probably take if you should go buy a crystal. So that's just letting you know that that's something that I had to learn, you know, was just use my guidance of what was kind of guiding me, which one was calling to me. Anyway, so I don't know who needs to hear that. But anyway, it says, to dream of a crystal represents feelings about something in your life noticed as absolutely perfect. And I said that, remember I said that stone was high vibrational, but there was two there. Immunity to criticism or being told what to do. Some areas of your life that is too important or too perfect to be denied. So that goes back to the first dream. The guy who came into the room when he said, are you spiritually strong? So he knows, they know what they want. So that stone is playing a big important part in it. So feeling, being unquestionably above reproach, feeling stupid for not believing that something is perfect. So for those people who feel like there is no perfect person out there. There's always a perfect person out there if you just allow God to lead it. Allow God to lead you and orchestrate that relationship that is going to be the perfect person for you. You know, it may not necessarily be the perfect person for somebody else, but there is someone out there who is spiritually matches your vibration, your energy, and together you guys are in high frequency, high vibration, and what I'm hearing is like on top of the world. Speaking of which, I did have a dream the other night, and it kind of slipped away. I just only saw it briefly, where there was some people standing up on a mountaintop, and it just seemed like they was just having a conversation. Like, I guess because they had made it to the top. So, you know, like they made it to the top. So that's all I had. Hold on. So that's all I had pretty much saw, and so I'm going to just tell you just that part of it, because I don't remember the rest, and maybe I wasn't meant to hold on to it all, but it was like some people, they was just up there kind of mingling and talking to each other. You know, some was just kind of separate, and I thank you, Spirit. Spirit's just letting me know for those who already up there, it's like they waiting for their other half to meet them there, in other words. So anyway, so let me finish reading the crystal. It says, feelings about something being more unquestionable, important than you are. Sensitivity about something being perfectly respected. So take it how it resonates. And then okay, so here are the benefits of a clear quartz crystal. I'm sorry, I should have did this way before I came on here. Okay, so let me show you this crystal again. Thank you, Spirit. That's confirmation, y'all. So it says, the properties of a clear quartz crystal, the master healer. It is a powerful healing stone. It absorbs, stores, and releases any regulated energy. Hold on, let me blow this up. And regulates energy, excuse me. It's programmable. Bear with me, y'all. Programmable and amplifying. So in other words, you can set your attention with this stone, like whatever it is that you want it to do, it will do, in other words. And usually doing it around about, I think is it the new moon, setting intentions with your crystals and stuff and doing your spiritual practice? I think new moon. You look it up, Google it, whatever. Anyway, acid concentration unblocks memory blocks, amplifies all energy. And then spiritually cleansing energy promotes clairvoyance, powerful, accelerated for spiritual work and healing. A spiritual library enhances psychic vision and communication. What else? And then for the physical part of it, those were emotional sides of it. Well, I'm sorry. Let me do that again. The emotional sides of it is the master healer, powerful healing stone, absorbs, stores, release, and regulates energy. Programmable and amplifying, aids concentration, unblocks memory blocks, amplifies all energy. That's emotionally. So if you have any emotional issues that you need to release, bring up, heal, and so on and so on, this stone is good for it. And then the spiritual side is it's cleansing energy, promotes clairvoyance, powerful, accelerating for spiritual work and healing. A spiritual library enhances psychic vision and communication. And then physically, we talked about the chakras, which you hear me talking about the chakra system. So physically, it helps with the immune system. Booster and balancer activates and aligns your chakras, restores, vitalize, aids cellular healing. That's physically. And how to use, just basically says manifest tools, visualize your goals while holding and carrying with you, programming with a healing mantra or intention to amplify the energy, using during meditation to harmonize and align chakras, subtile bodies. So keep that in mind too. And then there's like a little quick affirmation, and it says, my mind is clear, my heart is open, my soul is transforming, my body is healing, I am healthy in physical body and mind, I am receiving all things love and light. That's just an affirmation to go with it if you guys should go and purchase a healing crystal. Anyway, so let me move on. So in the next part of that dream, after he asked me about what that was, and I said a clear two of my crystals that I put in his glove box. So for some particular reason, we switched scenes. So we ended up at this hotel that was in his area, and this is not like no hotel, because it was just weird how it was going down. So I say all that to say that him and I ended up, we was both sitting in chairs in like kind of like a little small lobby area, but then it was like this long hallway. But I got the feeling like the building was old, like antique, like it was historical. Thank you, Spirit. It was historical. Because the way it was set up is nothing like a hotel today, because these two people were sitting down in chairs. It's like I saw a black guy. He was sitting down behind the desk. He was on a phone, but then there was another guy who was kind of near him, but just off a ways, just off a little bit ways. But it's like he was also on a phone. So it's almost like, thank you, Spirit. It's almost like the two of us was there trying to, it's almost like we was on, like, the guy was on a phone. He was part of like the spiritual team. And the reason why I say that is because there was a guy who was on a picture, and you know how they have those old antique pictures where it's in a round picture frame, and it looks like, you know, the lady has a little the little round thing right here on her neck. Well, it wasn't a woman in the picture. It was a man in the picture. The picture wasn't too old, but it was old, and the building was old. So I say all that to say, it's more so of, and the guy in the picture, he was white for some particular reason. And again, I'm not having any issues with anybody in regards to race. I'm just telling you what God, Soul, Spirit was showing me, and what their significant roles were, should I say. So it's almost like, and I just kept looking at the man who owned the place, but apparently I got the feeling like he had passed on, but that was his creation, that he created that building, that hotel. He built it, in other words, but it's still being run by other people. But anyway, so I saw him, and I was looking at the hotel. I was like, oh, this place is kind of old. But again, it's not like we were checking into a hotel. And hold on, thank you, Spirit. I'm sorry. I've seen this hotel thing before. Just trying to remember what the meaning was. So anyway, So excuse me, y'all. Excuse me. So as we were sitting in the lobby, kind of waiting in a chair, it wasn't a big lobby, it was a little small, because like I said, this building was kind of like an old antique type building or whatever. The guy was on the phone, the other guy was on the phone, and I was just looking around while they was on the phone. So him and I was just sitting in the two chairs and just waiting, which is so funny because it's the same two chairs that I saw in the other dream, where the man and his mother was sitting in the chair in regards to asking, are you strong spiritually? So it's almost like what I had gotten from that was the two of us was there, and it's almost like we were there to get approvals from like from our spiritual team, in a sense of whether we can be together. Because what I want you guys to know was this individual who was there in the dream with me, should I say, this person is remember I said high vibrational, is high vibrational. They know who they are spiritually, just some of the characteristics of that person. They know who they are spiritually. They're grounded spiritually in regards to spirituality, should I say, or just knowing God. Maybe not so much spirituality, but, you know, just knowing God. Having a relationship with God. Acknowledging God as his provider. Acknowledging... fearing God. More importantly, he's strong in and having that relationship with God in general. So I say all that to say I got the feeling like the two of us was there at the hotel because oh yeah, thank you, Spirit. Okay, so we were there at the hotel, right? That was confirmation because I almost forgot this in a dream. So I forgot to tell you guys, when we was in a car, no, not when we was in a car, when we was in a hotel, when we was in a hotel lobby, sitting in a chair waiting, it's like while they was on the phone having a conference call with our spiritual teams to see, I guess, not to see, but thank you, Spirit, not to see, I mean, not, I guess, but to see whether my spiritual team and whether his spiritual team will give us permission to be together. In other words, it's almost like having to get that rite of passage is what I'm hearing. Like, do he have the rite of passage to be with me spiritually, should I say? Not just spiritually, but physically. So it was almost like spiritually, we was getting approval from our spiritual teams, his spiritual teams. Because remember, I said the hotel was almost like it was ancient, it was old. So it was just letting me know that, you know, you getting permission from your ancestors, your spirit guides, God source spirit, you know, all of your higher ups who are there to lead you and guide you. Because remember, they know what's for your highest good, you know, and not necessarily we do. That's why it's so important to listen to our intuition, because our intuition is there to lead us and guide us. But not only that, but to sit still, have some quiet time and have some downtime, so that way, and relaxing yourself, so that way, thank you, Spirit, so that way that you are able to hear or know which way to navigate next, left, right, straight, because it's definitely not going back to where you once were, but it's going on to better things, is what I'm hearing Spirit say. Anyway, so with that being said, I remember he was sitting there and he was just kind of looking at me like, are you it? Are you the real deal? Like, he just kept looking at me, and I was like, what? Why are you looking at me, in a sense? And he just kept looking like he was questioning whether he was, like, whether we were doing the right thing. In other words, like whether I was gonna leave him, in a sense. That's what I kind of got a feeling like. He was questioning, like, should I be doing this? Is she gonna leave me, in a sense? So take that how it resonates. But anyway, and I remember he just kept looking like he was just like this, like looking at me like he adored me, but at the same time saying to himself, like, is this realistic? Like, is this gonna last? Is this permanent? In other words, because people are now in a point of looking for lifelong partnerships anyway, because people done been through the ringers and so on and so on. So people want to know that they want to make sure they're with the right people. Thank you, Spirit. They want to make sure that they're with the right people spiritually, because if not, you know, what's going to keep happening for those people who have been in and out of relationships, or just you think you got a relationship and then it slips through your hand, and you think you met somebody else and then that slips through your hand. Like, relationships have not been working out for people because people are not with the person who they were meant to be with spiritually. So anyway, we was trying to get approval to see whether we were meant to be together spiritually. So with all that being said, let me just give you the interpretation, because the dream pretty much ended there with us sitting in the lobby with the two guys on the phone and me just observing the scene, and him looking at me, just kind of questioning himself, whether we were doing the right thing or whatever the case may be. It was just a matter of, again, I didn't see how it ended. So that lets me know, you know, it's going to end how you choose to allow it to end. So in other words, if you got to question something, then obviously something isn't necessarily right for you, in other words. But it's okay to question too, because sometimes you just want to make sure that you're sure. So just be mindful of that. So I just knew that I felt like he knew he wanted to be with me, but he did not want to commit with me if I wasn't, thank you, Spirit, if I was going to basically leave him, in a sense, to go be with somebody else. So that's why we, again, was sitting in the lobby trying to get approvals from our higher team. So I guess it was a matter of waiting to see what the results were going to be. So only time is going to tell. So you will know, trust me when I tell you, you will know whether somebody is right for you or not, whether there's somebody from your past or whatever the case may be. But anyway, it says the hotel, basically, The meaning of like hotels. Details interpretation about hotel dreams. A hotel is often, thank you, Spirit. The hotel is often an indication that you are not feeling secure in your current walk of life. And see, I said he kept looking at me because he wasn't for sure. He just wanted to make sure because he knew, I knew that I wanted a lifelong partnership, and I knew he wanted the same thing too, but he just didn't know if I was going to leave him for someone else. This type of dream will have a defiant impression on your current living situation. Your dreams may imply that perhaps you are not content, with your life in this walking world. So yeah. And then hold on. And then so another one real quick, okay, so hotels are symbolize your feelings of losing security and confidence, and it is important that you have the care and attention needed to move forward in your life. So keep that in mind. Take it how it resonates. But again, love is definitely, sorry y'all, love is definitely on the way, and I just wanted to tell y'all, I hope this information was helpful, and don't forget, I'll put in the description box below the songs. So go listen to the songs, read the words while you're listening to it, so that way you can hear the message that Spirit is trying to open you up to, for those of you who are at this level. And again, no level is better than the other level. It's just that others has been on this journey a little longer, and they have mastered certain things. So some are just coming on this journey. Some are like 25% of the journey. Some are like 50% in the journey. Some are like 75% in the journey. And some is like right there at 99.9% at the end of their journey. But life itself is always a journey. And even in the next chapter of life, there are going to be other journeys. But in regards to love, this situation is pertaining to love. So anyway, I hope that information was helpful. So just remember that if you guys decide you want to buy some crystals, I know for me, I bought this one from the mountains. They usually have like crystals up at the mountains, but again, fill out the crystals and see which one you feel like you connect with. But for me, that clear quartz is definitely a powerful stone. I'll tell you this one time, like when I first saw the crystals, was that when I first saw it? Yeah, when I first saw the crystals, I went into a crystal shop, and I had actually had a shamanic healing done. I didn't even know what a shamanic healing was. I didn't know what it was until after having one done. Well, I kind of knew because I read the description of it. But I say all that to say I had a shamanic healing done. But before she does a shamanic healing, the lady who I went to, she basically had all these different color crystals. And she said, well, first, before we get into it, she said, I want you to pick one crystal. And out of all the crystals, because there were some other crystals that was very pretty that was there, but my attention was being drawn to this one. And then she looked at me strange, like, how did you know? In a sense, she said, well, she asked me, she said, well, why did you pick that crystal? And I said, I don't know. I said, because I felt like I was being guided to. And then she said, oh, she said, because what did she say? She said, that's a very powerful crystal. And I was like, oh, okay. I didn't know. I didn't know anything about crystals at that time. So I just thought it was funny because how she looked at me, because she told me that most people do not pick that crystal. They pick other little stones and stuff like that. So anyway, so with that being said, I told you what the properties were. You guys can Google it for yourself. But like I said before, you know, just be mindful if you go to buy something online. It's probably best if you see it in person and get a feel for it. That way your guides can pick it for you and somebody else is just not picking it for you and shipping it off and sending it to you. It's best that if you pick it up and you can feel it, or your guide's telling you, yes, that's the one. And that should probably help you along your journey. But very powerful benefits for me, I can say. And for some of you too, I'm sure it will be as well too. Remember, everybody may not necessarily resonate with that particular crystal because I know different crystals represents different zodiac signs. So definitely this clear quartz, you know, works for me. Yes. So anyway, with all that being said, I hope you guys enjoy your weekend. I hope you have a great weekend, and just know that T's are being crossed, I's are being dotted, papers are being signed, and basically the spiritual world is signing off on paperwork, should I say. So keep that in mind. But anyway, don't force anything, don't push anything. Just allow God to do what he do, and just allow things to happen organically, naturally, and just go with the flow of things, should I say. So anyway, is that it? I believe that's it. So with all that being said, I hope you all stay blessed, stay beautiful, and know that you're beautiful just the way you are. Is there always room to grow? Yes, it is. Yes. So anyway, I think that's it. Okay. All right. I wish you all much love, much light, and peace and blessings. Bye.